Hello, welcome. Lola Acala here for Shaw TV. Between the two of them, they've had over 30,000 interviews with Hollywood insiders, local and international artists. Their show has won over 10 Leo Awards and other numerous awards for Best Talk Show and Best Talk Show Host. Their on-screen camera is such that we haven't seen on TV in recent years. We love them. It's the dynamic talk show host duo that is Eckford and Forbes. It's the very foxy Fiona Forbes and the very dashing Michael Eckford.
Hello.
Hey
God,
guys.
you're good at things. Thanks, Lola.
Good to see you.
Well, thank you. It's a bit weird to be like on our set.
On the other side.
We have never, I don't think, have you ever sat here and been interviewed?
Not being interviewed in this
Never.
spot.
And that's why we thought it would be great to actually have to come to your house and really, you know, have you both in the spotlight.
Well, thank you, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm blushing.
Well, and part of it, we should probably do a little bit of math. 30,000 is actually, we've done about 15, I would guess, but we've done them together. So if you combine it, sure, but really it's sort of 15,000.
And between the two of us, over 30 years of television.
Precisely.
We're getting old.
And that's the thing, because you guys have been doing this for so long.
Centuries.
But I think congratulations are in order, first of all, because just last week, you guys hit your 3 million views on your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that just amazing? How exciting is that for you to see that, you know, you guys are still connecting with your audience, you know, time and time. They still keep coming back to see you guys after so long.
Thanks. It's you know, the business, we're both fascinated by the business, period, right? So as the business changes, I think part of the fun for us is that, you know, there's a lot of doom and gloom in our industry about, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I really like it. I'm really fascinated by it.
And salary cap planning, a key part of day-to-day decision-making. He is Vice President of Hockey Operations and Assistant General Manager. It's Lawrence Gilman. Hi, thanks for having us. Good to see you.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, under normal circumstances, with just a few weeks to the start of the 2012-13 NHL season, the question I ought to be asking is how are the Canucks getting ready for the upcoming season? But under present circumstances, in the middle of what some are calling really very contentious labor negotiations, what sense are you getting as we move ever so close to the 15 deadline when the current CBA expires? Do you think we can expect to see a deal on the table allowing the season to open on schedule and on time, or are we in fact headed into another NHL lockout, the likes of 2005?
Well, you know, the short answer to that question is that that matter is way above my pay grade. But from our perspective, you know, we are preparing for the NHL season to begin on time. At this point, you know, our training camp is going to commence on September 21st. And for us, you know, we're business as usual until we're told otherwise. We currently have 15, 16 of our players working out here daily, which is consistent with the ordinary course of business.
Also some movement. Fan favorite Salo has moved on. You're also able to acquire, re-sign some of your major players. Schneider's locked in, Ebert, Weiss, Bill Paddy, Mason. There are still some Canuck fans who argue that there is still a name that is still a bit up in the air, if you want to call it that, and that is that of Roberto Luongo. Can we expect to see Lou at the start of the season still very much a Canuck, with both goalies sharing the #1 spot? Unique situation, but
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's been a lot said and written in the media about Roberto's situation. You know, the one thing I can tell you right now, Roberto Luongo is a member of this organization, and he's a valued member of this organization. At the time of our recording, he will be coming in for the Jake Milford Golf Tournament, like almost every other member of our team. Training camp will commence at some point, assuming things go according to plan. It'll start September 21st. Barring anything unforeseen, we expect him to be here with Corey Schneider, with Eddie Lack, with Joe Canada, and with any other goaltender that we have in the camp. Beyond that, you know, the only thing constant in this business is change. It's an ordinary course of business that players move around. As I like to say, we will jump off the bridge when we get to it with respect to our goaltending situation. Right now, we're fortunate to have the problem of having too many goaltenders. There are teams in the National Hockey League that don't have enough. Yeah, as I like to say,
it's a shabby problem to have at all.
No, it falls into the category of problems you don't mind having.
About this local talent, David Blair. So we're here at Tip Top Tailors on Granville Street, one of my favorite menswear store in the city. Now, the Tip Top brand was founded in Canada from as far back as 1909. making him one of Canada's leading pioneers in menswear collection. Now, David Blair should be inside. Let's go have some fun with this.
Okay, good.
Well, hello.
Excellent.
Hi, good to see you.
Hello, good to see you. Mwah, mwah.
Hi, Malcolm Narain from Tip Top. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So isn't this amazing? I love that we're being inspired by one of the tracks on Justin Timberlake's new album, Suit and Tie. Isn't this pretty cool?
This is amazing. I love it. Malcolm's made me look fantastic.
I think
good
so.
Job, Malcolm. Thank you
so much. So tell me, what is it about Justin that you relate to so well?
Besides the rhythm, the dancing, and the amazing songs, it's got to be the style. And, you know, that's why we're here today. I love it. You know, Suit and Tie. Gotta love the fact that he took it to the next level, because his last album has influenced the tie culture. And now his new album, again, he's doing the bow tie this time, but you know, it's all good. I'm still rocking the tie.
But are you very much a suit and tie guy yourself?
I actually am. I know I haven't worn too many suits in my stylings with my albums, but I actually used to work at Tip Top Tailors.
Oh,
actually, a long time
wow.
ago, back in Oak Ridge Mall, and then back in the 90s. So that's when I learned my, you know, my sizings, 40 and
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a coming full circle for you in a way. You used to work there, now you're being interviewed here. Keeping a healthy lifestyle after the holidays and staying with it throughout the year is often a challenge for most of us. So the holidays are over. We've had the turkey, we've had the stuffings, we've had the trimmings, we've had the lot. And for myself, I know probably so much more than I had any business having. And so what to do at this time of the year when we need to get back to a healthy lifestyle? What to do?
I'll tell you what to do. You're gonna start with 5. Drop it down, mama. Let's go, Lola.
Oh, God.
Down.
Tell me, Euro.
You do the crime, you gotta do the time.
No.
1, 2, 3. Come on.
Oh, God.
Good job.
God. Let's welcome to the show, star of a reality TV series, The Bulging Bride and The Last 10 Pounds, and voted the best trainer in Vancouver 3 years in a row, and CFL defense back. It's Tommy Europe.
Hello, hello. How you doing, Lola?
Welcome.
Thanks for showing up today.
Thank you so much for doing this.
for having
So it's the time of the year when we also look to our New Year's resolutions as a way to really help us achieve some of the goals that are important to us. But statistics has shown that really a lot of us lose that momentum really in the first few months of the year. For some, really in the first few weeks. So
You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need any equipment. And today, you're gonna see her doing some exercises at home. This is our home right now, right?
yes, it is.
And you can make it happen. And I've created a video just for that purpose. That's all body weight.
Beautiful.
And make sure you remember 4 weeks to a new you.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started, but we have to get the body warm. So we're gonna start off jumping side to side, double feet, so stand in the middle. Time's clicking, come on.
Oh, Jesus.
Now this is really good because it gets your body kind of warm. You get movement going, you get some blood flow going. Your heart rate will start to go up a little bit. You'll be sweating a little bit.
I know.
Good. It's always good to keep on moving.
Yeah. Movement is actually really important. Am I doing this well?
You're going perfect. 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. How does that feel? We've got 20 seconds before our next
There's
one.
more?
Next exercise is going to be part of a dynamic stretch, because stretching is very important before, but you have to do dynamic stretches.
Very
which
much
means
so.
stretching in movement. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the bottom of our knee up, step into a lunge,
Oh my God.
come back, switch sides. See? That's your cue.
Okay. Oh my God.
There you go. Step into the lunge. Now these are still nice and slow because right now we're just getting the
Like
body
that.
warm.
Oh my
And push
God.
back up
Back
and
up.
switch to the other side.
Holy.
Now the reason we do dynamic stretches as opposed to static stretches, which is more of a reach and hold, is because your body's not ready yet, your body's not warm. Now on that
Body's
lunge,
not warm
on
yet.
that lunge, make sure your weight's on that front heel.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
then come back. Gotta bend both knees.
Oh my God.
She's an innovator in her own right. She's the author of 2 books. You'll often find her as a beauty expert on both local and international shows like The Today Show, but she has just touched down here on the West Coast, and we are lucky to have her. It's Eve Pearl. When we heard that you were coming to Vancouver, we were kind of aware of the fact that your name in the industry, and a lot of people were like, well, you know, the first thing you need to ask her is, what is the product of the year?
We're known for the salmon concealer. What is a salmon concealer, you ask? Well, every woman has. If you ask every woman, what is your biggest issue that you have? Let me ask you, what is the biggest issue that you have with your skin?
Well, oftentimes, as we know, a lot of the times it's about either too oily skin, if it's too dry, and it's about trying to find that balance between both oftentimes.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that you find makeup that's going to make you look good, that's going to feel good, and be good for you.
And she was right, because shortly thereafter, I was asked to sit down as her model for the event. You are well known in the industry as the makeup artist to the stars. Tell us, what is it about your product that makes it so, unique, in comparison to all the other stuff?
My entire line was created and developed while working on The View. And the ladies on The View, there are different skin tones, different ages, different issues, different allergies. And when you go into high definition, as most of the television stations went into, everybody
comes out.
That's right. So I created my whole HD line for sensitive skin, but you can use it for us everyday women, because we want to look as good as everybody else does.
Tell us a little bit, about that, and give women, especially young women, an advice in terms of, there's so much more you can do. Don't put yourself in a box.
Don't be scared. My biggest goal would be for you not to be scared, to get rid of that fear, and never wait until you're ready to do anything. Because if you wait until you're ready, you're never going to do it, because you're never going to feel ready. Just do it.
What do you get when you take a beautiful city like Vancouver and add to its landscape contemporary public art? You get the open-air museum that is the Vancouver International Biennale. Best known as a sculptor, Michelle Goulet's technique is to create installations based on everyday recognizable objects that encourage public participation. The Echoes, a series of 16 one-of-a-kind stainless steel chairs with English and French inscriptions reflecting everyday aphorisms of emotions and dreamlike thoughts. The goal of the artist is to foster human interaction and communication.
Also, as I say, a cornerstone for building community spirit.
How truly lucky the people and city of Vancouver to have first-class art integrated into their everyday lives as they go about their business. To where you are today as the president of the club that you also once played for. Now, if you could share with us, if you could look back to that very first game with Reading, you're out there on the pitch, miles away from home and everything what was going through your mind, and how did that game turn out?
Actually, there wasn't much going through my mind other than focusing on my first game with Reading, my first team game, because I'd played in the youth team, I'd played in the reserves, but my first team game was at the end of a season, which is normally when young players get their start, when there's not a lot on the line. And I was 15 at the time, and it was against Colchester United. And we ended up losing the game 4-2. It was a very, by the time you get to the end of the season in England, the pitches are often, there's not much grass left on them, and if it's raining, it's pretty much a mud heap. That's exactly what it was, but very memorable and vivid in that I can look back on it now and pick out a lot of the good things that took place on that day, in spite of the fact we lost 4-2.
Well, I always say, your story is one of those, that really encompasses the drive and, the tenacity of a guy who really loves what he does. You went out there to England after school, just in search of your soccer dream, and you did do everything you wanted to do. I mean, how amazing is that to see you right here, knowing that, you went out there and you did it all yourself?
That's always the best part to try to tell to others is that, these types of things are possible if you go and you give yourself the best chance to do so. And for me, it was all about making the most of my opportunities. It's about grinding it out, and it's about enjoying the hard work. And when you're able to do those types of things in combination, usually the right result happens. Again, but everything's a process, and you have to trust in the process, and you have to believe in yourself. And I think for me, all those intangibles seem to work in the right ways, and here we are. So I'm still excited to be playing, and still excited to keep pushing in the right direction.
I also asked how the wedding plans was going with our very own Canadian Olympic medalist, Ashley McIver.
It's going to be at the end of August, and we're still in the planning phases, but being injured has allowed me to be even more of a full-time wedding planner. So it's been really fun. We both are enjoying it.
Jay, we wish you the very best of luck, and we hope that you get out there, because we really miss you out on the pitch.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much for doing this.
And with the rest of the team on the road on an away game, I finished my day off with an attempt to score a goal against reserve goaltenders Simon Thomas and Sean Melvin. And with not being so lucky with that, it was a case of where there is a will, there is a way.
Across this beautiful country of ours are actors, singers, writers, filmmakers whom you ordinarily wouldn't hear from, but they're all working hard behind the scenes to make their mark on the industry, and we want to give them a voice. One of such artists is my first guest. She's a writer, singer, producer from right here in Vancouver. She co-produced and co-stars in the very funny comedic series 1-800-DIRTY TALK. Please welcome Megan Phillips. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, Lola.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
So you're a very busy woman, actor, singer, producer. Like, how'd you get the time?
Sleeps for chumps. No, I think that when you're passionate about something, you make the time, right? I mean, case in point, look at you.
So at what age did you get your start in show business?
Well, I think it's one of those things where it calls you, you don't call it per se, at least in my case. So as a kid growing up, I was very creative, but I didn't really professionally start doing it until university.
So you have a recent project in the works. Really exciting project.
Yeah.
It's called Breaking Velocity, which opened at the Repertory Theatre in Manhattan.
Yeah. This show is my baby so far. It is an autobiographical solo musical. It is the story of how 7 years ago, while attending theatre school in London, England, I was hit by a car just as I was about to audition for, I had an agent, I was ready, to do some West End work. And suddenly everything that I had trained for in my life was just taken from me in a heartbeat. And it was this pinnacle moment where, I was finally embracing the fact that I was an artist, and yet suddenly I was faced with the inability to be that artist. Yeah, so what do you do? How do you deal with that? How do you grow? And in my travels over the past 7 years, I've encountered a bunch of people who have had car accidents or traumatic events or life-changing events or something that's just derailed everything that they were training for and planning for. And
I know.
yeah, and so this show is, yes, it was a very healing, cathartic journey for me, but it's really a message of hope to anybody who's in the very beginning stages of that, because the times can be very dark.
Very much.
Yeah, so the show is all about just working through the darkness and kind of, and it's got, it's a dramedy. It's got funny bits to it. And
my next guest is a lovely actress who's dabbled in some TV presenting work. She's interviewed some world-famous DJs like Mark Farina, Chris Lake, Pete Tong, and Hollywood darling Lou Diamond Phillips. Please welcome Lisa Chanelio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Excited to be
absolutely.
here.
It's great for you to be here. So you really interviewed some world famous DJs, some of my favorite DJs, in fact, because I love the house music.
Yeah, yes.
Pete Tong, Mark Farina, Chris Lake.
Chris Lake, yeah.
What were they like? What were those interviews like, and how did all that come about?
Well, I'm a great
music fan. I love house music, electronic music, and especially growing up in the UK.
Yes.
I used to always listen to, well, I still listen to it, Pete Tong's Essential Selection.
Indeed,
And,
I love that.
I have a love for presenting, like what you're doing.
Yes.
And so I thought, what's the best way to get out there and get experience?
Very much so.
And I met these guys that run a website called DJ Vibe, and I teamed up with them because they can handle the camera side of it.
Yes.
And they said, yeah, if you want to do some interviews, we'll shoot it for you. So I'm like, perfect. So Pete Tong was my very first interview that I'd ever done. And I thought, yeah, I contacted his management team and we set it up. And then actually it came to the day for me to do the interview. I was like, what am I doing? I've never interviewed anyone in my life. And I'm starting with Pete Tong. Are you stupid?
Might as well go for the big fish,
let's
right?
just jump in the deep end.
Exactly.
And
you learn how to swim.
yeah, it was a good experience.
Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Ledge. My guest today, writer, producer, Jason Cox. So, I was going to ask you rather, because we talked about you being in the papers.
Yep.
Another reason you were actually in the papers not too long ago. Now, are you very politically minded or inclined? Because you were in the papers for actually sending former Premier Gordon Campbell a letter really expressing what you felt about certain things. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I like dipping my toes in the political world sometimes, and I'm a letter writer. That's what I do. I feel like it's something that I can do to get some change, or at least get some closure myself. Anyway.
Yes,
so Gordon Campbell had promised not to toll the new bridge that was going up locally here, and he backed out on that and decided to toll it. So I wrote a long letter to him and then CC'd the province newspaper and a couple of like Global News and places like that. And the province loved it, and so they put my face on the front page, and then in the editor section, my letter and his response to my letter, and it was what was it, Citizen Joe versus Gordon Campbell.
Yes, and
there
there
were
were
two boxing gloves on.
Very much
cool.
so. It was really quite interesting, and it was kind of nice because I always believe that it's about making sure that you get your views out there. Don't accept anything just because they're feeding it to us. So it was a beautiful thing to see. Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Ledge. My next guest is a wonderful actor and writer. She won the most outstanding lead actress in a comedy. Please welcome Lisa Hughes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
So you're quite a busy lady. What I love is the kind of self-deprecating way that you describe yourself as, having the art of awkwardness, did you say?
Yes.
And a bad dancer. I thought that was really funny.
Yes.
Is comedy something that comes really easy for you?
It just feels natural. It feels it's fun. I mean, who wants to be dramatic when you can be comedic?
So you're originally from Australia, now Vancouver, right? But you actually left professional sport to pursue your acting career. Tell us a little bit about your sporting days and how that led to an acting career.
Well, I left professional sport in a career sense, not as in an athlete sense. I used to work for a national football team in Australia. I worked from the ground level up in memberships, marketing, operations, but it was rugby league, and sport consumed my life up until I left. I played field hockey and a lot of different sports growing up, so sport was pretty much all I knew.
Yeah, and then you decided to just, it's time for that.
Said, Mom,
you got
Dad,
the bug.
Going to Hollywood.
Indeed, very much. So, well, you must be that good because you actually won a scholarship to attend the Second City School of Comedy in Chicago. And this is a school that some of the, great comedians that we see today, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, they actually attended that school. How was your experience there?
I'm Lola Acala signing off. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
God, anything raw, it all becomes clear. Before you know it, it's only a matter of time. And it's right before you.